Okay, so just want to make sure everything is live and recorded.
I need 2 seconds. I forgot something. I want to have handy.
Okay, so let's kick off. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome today's Fireside Chat with Deon Groenewald. I'm Kobus Visser with a C, and wherever you are from and wherever you are listening and joining us in now, in the future, today, I hope you're going to enjoy this and learning something new about one of the biggest experts in NLP in South Africa. For those who don't know what NLP is, it's neuro-linguistic programming. And so today I have a special guest, and we're going to quickly just sit and talk and just to get to learn the secrets behind a successful individual. Now, I like to say, there's so many people out there that are sometimes say they are successful, and we follow all of them, like Elon Musk and Steve Bezos, etc., or Jeff Bezos, etc. But we have normal individuals that is in our world that are successful in their own right and that have come far path, if I have to say that way, that they've walked the walk, and they've also faced challenges, but they've made a success in their industry. And so hello, Deon, nice to have you here.
Hello, Kobus. It's fun being here. And I know I want to interrupt this whole process, because here's the thing with most of these interviews. Usually you want to ask me a lot of questions and I've got to give a lot of answers. So I've got a question that I know your audience absolutely wants to hear.
Yes.
Are you ready?
You can ask away.
What beard oil do you use?
That's a good question. So, and this is what it's about, Deon. This is a conversation. So it's not only just you're welcome to ask questions back. So I use whatever beard oil I can get. I have, the L'Oreal I'm using at the moment. Before that, I used Buffelsfontein. I'm lucky. Most of the time, people give me gifts. My birthday was up now on the 2nd of November, so people love to give me gifts. And so what's the one thing they're going to give me? It's beard oil. But I'm also lucky. I have my own brand of beard conditioner and shampoo. So, I have that as well. I just need my own oil brand, but, that's going to be next year. But when are you growing a beard?
Well, I think I'm when I was younger, let me state this properly. When I was younger, I thought I was one of the lucky ones, because when I got to high school, and even a year or two after high school, everybody I knew at my age was shaving already. And I just never started shaving. I had a little hair coming out here, one coming out there, and I just plucked them. I never shaved. I think I was 22 years old when I really shaved for the first time. So my beard actually, because every time you shave, you actually stimulate the growth. So my beard started very, very late in life, and even today still, I don't have to shave twice. I'm 58. Most men my age need to do a morning and a late afternoon shave. I'm not there. My beard is gray, as in completely gray, and it grows like a vegetable garden with some insects getting in there to try and feast on it, because there's only a patch here and a patch there and a patch there. I've got no consistency. So
I know how you feel, and it was the same with me until I started using a beard growth shampoo and conditioner. And for the first time in my life, I could grow a beard, and that's why I'm keeping it. Just to give an idea, I started it when I have no hair on my beard. I look like a young child, and I always struggled to get business when it was like that, until the moment I grew a beard. And it's suddenly most of my clients are between 50 and 70 years old. Here I am, not 40 even, and I connect with people twice my age, and I just put it towards the beard I have. I think when you get the beard, we might have to call you Opa. And you are Opa, am I right?
Well, I am an Opa. Yeah, my one daughter is, she's giving us our second grandchild now very soon. So yeah, I've been an Opa for a few years already. Fun.
Yeah. So where did you
It's
grow
a,
up?
it's a fun concept if you think about it, because you've got grandchildren and you can play with them and give them back when you're tired of them. The downside of it is, I snuggle a granny every night. You got to wrap your head around that concept that, you know, I kiss a granny and I enjoy it. And it's just a weird concept. Okay, she kisses a grandpa as well. But yeah, it's a strange concept.
Even if it's a strange concept, I think the one thing after meeting your wife as well, both of you don't look that old. You're still young. You look still energetic. You look after your health. You guys looks good for your age. But what's the secret? I see today, and congratulations for those who don't know, Deon is as old as I am, basically. He's been married. He's been married now 37 years old today, and he's giving up an hour to spend with me. So Deon, what's the secret?
A secret of what? Being married for 37 years? Yes. Or I often get asked that question because I think we're blessed in the sense we've got a really amazing relationship. I mean, you've seen my wife and I together. We still in love. We still act like teenagers sometimes together. So I think we're very, very blessed. But quite honestly, I think we're lucky. I know that sounds very, very strange when I say that. I think, and I want to justify that statement. I think we're lucky that we've both found partners that match our values, our needs, our lifestyle. That both of us made a decision very early in our marriage that we are married to each other for life. We're committing to this journey. There's no opting out of it. Nothing to be thrown away or replaced. If something goes wrong, fix it, sort it out, and continue just having a great journey. And I think we've been one of the lucky couples on that journey. It's worked. It's worked well. So
yeah, you say
what's the secret? I've got no idea. I don't know. Maybe my wife being a nice person and being so awesome is the secret. I guess that's probably.
I think let's talk about that. What are some of your values in your relationship? Because you that as coaching and agrees will agree that values is basically one of the foundations that you need in yourself and in the work and in the relationship. So what are some of the values that keeps you guys together that is similar?
I think there's two categories there, because very often when people talk values, we think about concepts like integrity, honesty, authenticity, and these type of things. Those are values. But I think it's more than just values. I think it's also what you value. For example, both of us value family time. We value our children. We value relationships with our kids, me time. We spend a lot of time together. So for me, the biggest treat is when I have my wife and my kids and their husbands or fiancés or boyfriends at our house, and we share a meal together. That to me, I still believe is the fundamental principle we need to act out more in our society. But the best gift is when the wife and I can go on adventures together. And that's something we've been doing most of our married life. We live quite an adventurous life. When we came to your adventure, we did a fire walk together.
Yes.
We do things together. We've done anything from racing motorbikes, water skiing, climbing mountains, traveling overseas, going for any kind of an extreme sports event where your adrenaline is pumping, where you're having huge amount of fun, where you can do nothing else but just scream at the top of your lungs from pure ecstasy. We share a lot of those experiences together. And I think what that's done is given us memories. It's given us reference points of joy, satisfaction, happiness, and bliss. And you need that in a relationship. I look around and I see a lot of couples, they work, they come home, they watch TV, they go to bed. All right, there are days we do the same thing. but they've got no highlights that they share together. The husband might play golf, and he goes off on a Saturday, spends the whole Saturday with his buddies, comes back on Sunday, and then the wife has got a book club or whatever the case may be, or a wine club. And then she goes off and does her own thing. And I get it that we all need me time, and there's enough time in a day to make me time. But I think sharing adventure, sharing life, the highlights of life together is probably the most important thing that I value and she values. And that works for us.
I think that is important. My dad likes to say we need to gather firewood during our life, so that the day when we're old, we have wood to place on the fire to keep our soul warm, and that firewood is basically memories. I think that is the challenge with most relationships. I know in my previous relationship is we didn't do enough things together, it was more separate, and before you know it, you grow up apart instead of keeping together, because now you have stuff to talk about, experiences. But now through this, how important is communication then in a relationship?
I think both of them are. Just to add, and I'll bring in the communication now, to add to the memories. If you understand how the brain works, that your deep subconscious brain does not differentiate between yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The time does not exist in the deeper subconscious. And your memories play in your deeper subconscious without you consciously thinking about them. So if you've got good memories together, that is the movie that's playing in the background. It's literally like going into a room and there's a TV on in the background. You're not watching TV, but there's sort of an awareness of it. Memories work in the same way with our human brains. They play in the background. So that creates an emotion, because remember now, if the mind experiences a memory, it experiences the emotion that's attached to it. So it creates that emotion. So that creates your fundamental emotional state. Now, if you've got a good, happy, healthy highlight moments, peaks, moments of joy and fun as your emotional foundation, if I can use that term, what type of words are going to come out of your mouth? Positive, inspirational, future-based, happy, inspiring, uplifting, forgiving, joyful, bliss types of words. So when people talk about communication, a lot of people think it's how much do you communicate? Do you communicate honestly? Do you communicate authentically? I personally think if you have to force any of those, you're missing something.
Yes.
It needs to come from a place of absolute authenticity. Your default communication should come from that fundamental base of your emotional state. And that comes from everything that's behind you and the state you're in at the present moment. So communication has to be inspiring, positive. And there has to be humor. Oddly, my wife and I had a chat about it last night, and I've got a wicked sense of humor. I've got, my kids, they're going, "Oh, Dad, that's such a dad joke again." I've got a weird sense of humor, maybe. I don't know. But I still make my wife smile with my jokes.
Luckily, with your jokes.
I have to be specific. Yeah? I still make her smile. I still make her laugh. She still makes me smile. She still makes me laugh. And I think that, again, is just a justification of the undercurrent of our emotional state, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I hope that makes sense. I've never had to unpack it in that way. So,
but it's a good thing. I think it's important because it's a different way of looking to relationships and communication and making memories. Now, is this tools that you've gained through studying NLP, life coaching, and human behavior? Is this what NLP is?
I don't know. I don't think my relationship is based on NLP. It's simply because I only got into NLP, in 2008, and I got married in '94. So there's been a journey before that. The foundation was built long before that. So I think some of these principles are just, call it my values and my wife's values, and we've just lived it. Did NLP enhance it? I think the NLP gave me the ability to become more self-analytical, to understand certain principles, to unpack what's happening, to put things into categories and see what is working, do more of that, what's not working, do less of that. I think that's where the NLP component came in, and that did assist in that.
Okay, yeah. So you've been doing it since 2008. And before that, just for just comparison, what did you do before that? Before you became NLP practitioner and trainer like you are today?
Two things. One, I was probably the worst employee anybody could have, because for most of my life, I've had a massive issue with getting bored. So I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, and I would very easily start a business, and the day I get bored, I will close the business. So if I take on a job and become an employee for someone, the moment I get bored, I leave. So I very seldom in my life had anything that I did for more than about 3 years. 3 years, and I'm talking about extreme things, going from owning a roofing company to being a recruitment agent to being a sales director to installing underfloor heating. Literally almost, you name the varieties, and because my mind needs to be stimulated. And I've never found anything that could stimulate me for longer than 3 years. And then I lose interest. And I do believe the moment we lose interest, we lose energy, we lose passion, we lose zest, we lose pushing, that little extra bit. And I've always monitored that. And the moment I feel that, I'm out of here. I need to leave. I need to go do something else. It's my life. I'm here to enjoy it. I'm not a slave. I'm not going to do a job that pays too little, and I hate it. No ways. Yeah. So this industry, this personal development industry is the one I've been in the longest. I mean, I'm like amazed I'm still here. It's brilliant.
So what was the catalyst for you to do this? What was the transition? Because 2008 you had to go study it. What made you go study it? But what was that catalyst? We all have in our journey, they call it the hero's journey, you have somewhere that something happens there where you get awakened, or because I remember mine was having my first firewalk experience of Hannes Dreyer. It transitioned me into the journey that I am today. What was your catalyst?
Mine was actually, for me, it's a very intimate experience. I had a small motorcycle accident. I think it was in 2007. And I'm a small one. I was just standing at a traffic light. Just two cars were hugging each other and doing a dance at the intersection. And the one car just spun out of control and just touched my motorbike's front wheel lightly, but just enough to push the motorbike to a point where I couldn't keep it upright, and it just fell over. And in that process, I felt something go click in my neck, and my neck sort of hurt. I had to get the motorbike home because it was the front end that was damaged, too risky to ride. But it was like a kilometer from my house. It wasn't a problem. I took the motorbike home, and my neck was in a spasm. Next morning, I woke up, part of my back was in a spasm. A couple of days later, my entire body, every single muscle I had in my body went spastic. And I looked like a hunchback. I could hardly move. My hands, everything was in cramp. So I submitted and I went to see a doctor, and they did a scan and an x-ray or whatever, and they rushed me into emergency surgery. Apparently what happened was I've got a vertebrae in my neck that was hardly existent, and that little accident just twisted everything in my neck, and the main nerve going down the back of my spine was being cut, and it was almost cut off about 80% at that stage. If I extended it another couple of hours, that nerve would have snapped, and I would have only had mobility in my head. So I went in for emergency surgery, and they fixed everything. I've got a metal plate in my neck that keeps my head on my shoulders. And I remember lying in the hospital bed. Now, you have to understand, I just came out of extreme surgery. They strap you down, they put you on a bed, and you face the ceiling. Oh. Nothing else. You can't see people. You can't look around. They're nice. They give you a TV in your room, and they mount it in front of you over there. But you're looking at the ceiling, so you can't even find a remote, let alone watch this. The second thing is they put you on a drip, and they pump you full of really interesting chemicals. Yes. And these chemicals put you to la la land. I mean, you are not awake. You're not asleep. You're just drifting. You're just somewhere, and your mind drifts. And in this drift, it's like a weird dream you're experiencing. I had an experience, and I read afterwards, quite a lot of people have had similar experience. I actually saw my own funeral. And the strangest thing was, the first thing I remember from it was I looked at the people around my grave and I didn't like any of them. I realized they're all egotistical, obnoxious, money chasers, people that I don't actually really want to associate with. But these were my friends and my colleagues and the people in my life at that stage. And then they started giving me a eulogy and everybody started saying things about me. And I went, no, that cannot be me. That's definitely. And the penny dropped. And I realized that is who I am. That's the person I've been chasing, that I've been dreaming to become, and that I've allowed to be shaped through external influences, internal choices, whatever, reason or justification we want to give it. But that's the person I became. I became a money-hungry, egotistical, didn't really care about society, the world, other people. It was all about me, my little world. I was a selfish, absolute idiot.
Sure.
And I realized in that moment, I didn't like that. And I realized that's not me. And I started crying because to me, it was an extreme emotional experience. So I started crying. But now I'm in hospital. I just came out of major surgery. And the nursing staff comes in and they see you cry. What do? They increase that drip. And I go further into that state. It took me about, now you just get this day staff sort of convinced it's not pain, it's emotions. And then the night staff comes in and the journey starts again. So it took me about 3 days to eventually get everybody to understand, don't increase my medication. I'm crying because I'm emotional. And I think I bawled my eyes out for 3 days. And I came out of that and I realized I have a past.
Yes.
I cannot change that. I have a future. I actually cannot change it because I'm not there yet.
Yes.
But I can do things now that will reshape my potential future. Yes. So I started, as weird as it sounds, redesigning me to be a more authentic, real me.
Sure.
And that was the start. And one of the tools I looked at, and I remember I was sitting in my dining room at my house and I was Googling all kinds of stuff. I mean, I wanted to know everything in the world. And I was looking for answers, desperately seeking answers. And I found a technique, followed the steps, did it on myself. And I went, oh, this is cool.
Yes,
this is cool. This worked. And then I started studying it. And yeah, the journey started.
It feels like you're talking my journey. Mine was similar, was also health-based and facing myself and, and then one day after that experience, looking for answers. And I think, if you keep on looking for answers, by asking the questions, the answers will come. And so you studied NLP and it probably, how it felt for me, it just opened, it was like opening Pandora's box, it was like this whole new world. And that you realize, it was like that quote by Gandhi says, you are in control of your destiny. You can change your destiny.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people talk about enlightenment, tapping into the greater consciousness. These are all, the sort of the yuppie words that are being used at the moment. I don't care about what words you're going to use. For me, I believe we've got inner wisdom. There's a beautiful word that refers to, it's called gnosis. It's knowing.
Yes.
And it refers to knowing. You know, somewhere in your soul, in your spirit, somewhere inside of you, you just know. And I think when I started on this journey, I knew this. This is my journey. This is who I am. This is who I want to be. This is who I am going to sort of shape it, create my destiny around. And it's brought me joy. It's brought me pleasure. I'm still extremely passionate about it. It's like a river that doesn't stop. Sometimes I get exhausted because I overdo it. Because we get so excited, we just want to push more and book. And that does catch up to us sometimes. However, I think I'm again, maybe I'm just lucky that I've had that incident. I feel sad that I needed a slap of reality to wake me up, because I waked up in my 40s. And what I'm seeing in this industry, and this is the pleasure and the joy, when I talk to guys like you, I mean, you woke up years ahead of me.
Yeah.
there are youngsters. I get students get 16, 17, 18, 19 years old coming into my classrooms. And when you talk to them, I see the light. I see the light in them. I see that these guys, there's a gnosis, they know. And that's magnificent to experience. But there's hope. Not everybody needs a slap.
But that's the question, some of us, and I think it's probably us as teachers that had to get the slap because we have to transfer this into people. It's not necessarily everyone has to become a coach and a trainer, but everyone needs at least a tool. So how do we awaken people? Do you think COVID was at least helped with the process? Or do you think, because there's so many people out there still in that box and not realizing their full potential, do you think we should get our some book out and go give a few people a slap?
That's a tough question, because one of the principles I live by is we have to give people permission so that they may decide who they choose to be. So if someone chooses to, and I want to say the words, live in shadows and in the shadow of themselves, we actually have to give them permission because they have the right to make that choice. So and I think for guys like us, sometimes it's frustrating because you see people that are living in the shadow of themselves, and you just want to take them by the shoulders and shake them. Yeah. But we actually have no right to do that, because the moment I believe that I know more than you, I'm only operating from my own ego. So I don't really do that. I haven't got that right. So I've got to hold back. But I do believe that I'm not put on the earth to save the world. Most definitely not. I'm not that amazing. I'm just here to share my experience, my little bit of knowledge that I've gathered to the people, and it'll be the right people that come to me at any given moment in time. And if it's 10 people, great. If it's 100 people, fantastic. If it's 1,000 people, great. It's not the volumes, it's the quality of the message.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned COVID. Has COVID shaped and changed our industry? I think it has. If I look back a couple of years, we're going a couple of years before COVID. It's like an era that has passed. If I look at a lot of speakers a couple of years ago, one of the things that I noticed, a lot of the speakers, trainers, guys in our industry doing what you and I do, they would fill a room, but 90% of what the audience received was showmanship.
Yes.
They would have cheerleaders, and there would be a band, and there would be this and fireworks and all kinds of things happening in the background. And it was more of an entertaining event than an actual teaching, training, sharing of knowledge, understanding, and wisdom event. What happened when lockdown came and we all jumped onto the Zoom bandwagon? The funniest thing happened, because now all of a sudden I can't have a backup dancers. I can't have a band in the corner. It's just me, and my audience is watching my face, focused on me. My average class is about 6 hours. For 6 hours nonstop in a day. Yes. If you cannot deliver quality, your audience will leave. If you cannot deliver quality content, in other words, if there's not something of value, yes, you will lose your audience. So what's happened, the guys that came in and they were just charming, charismatic, and they had the big hoo-ha, but they had no content. They've lost out.
Yes.
They've lost their audience. They're struggling. But the guys in the industry, in the personal development industry, that's in it for the right reasons, that has got content, they've grown.
Definitely.
And they've grown under the covers, not massive advertising campaigns or fancy stuff. They've just grown. And that's what I love.
Yeah, it brings out also people see the authenticity. They can quickly see if you're a bullshitter or if you're authentic and real and you really want to help. That's one reason why I connected with you. And I think, there was some miscommunication in the beginning and we misread each other through WhatsApp because, we actually just had to pick up the phone and chat to each other. And suddenly we connected because we saw each other's heart. And I think that is why it's so important the way we communicate as well. And by doing Zooms is you kind of hide away. It's not like a WhatsApp where you can read in someone's personality. As you see the facial expressions, you hear the tone of voice, and you see quickly if they have content or not. And I think, this last 2 years has shaped us and the industry as it is, and it probably will keep on impacting, the way we go forward. But one thing that stood out for me, Deon, is you have to be real. And you have to be in that process of connecting. And I think, it's not yet to save the world. It's about sharing the message. It's about sharing the content, and attract the people. There's this saying that says you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. And in a sense, that is true. But I have this saying, if you can give them enough of your salt, if you give it enough salt, it might just get thirsty enough to drink of your water. But even if it does get thirsty and it goes drink of someone else's water, it's also still okay, because at least you've made that hunger in them to even know more. And sometimes, like you say, you might not be the teacher or the guru for them at that moment, and it might be someone else. But by sharing our message, we get, that is where the secret is. And I think that is what I love about you. You're such a giving heart, that is what stood out for me.
I think what authenticity, I mean, it's a beautiful word, but I also prefer the word real. I often say, we're doing real things in the real world with real people who have real challenges, and we need to be real. But I do also believe one thing that has happened, and that COVID maybe has been a catalyst for, I think the world and our audience got to a point where they said, all right, we're tired of fake. We're tired of the synthetic. We're tired of the showmanship. We're tired of guys just claiming something and then not delivering at the end of it. And to me, that's probably been one of the best awakenings that's been happening. And people spot the difference. Sure, there are guys that are still great showmen and they do sell a lot of products and whatever the case may be, but it's dwindling and people spot the difference. And that to me is, I do believe where society is going. I do honestly believe, yes, we've got a lot of stuff happening in the background, and there's politics, and it's this and it's that. But those are games that certain groups of people are playing. I think the general public, the average guy in the street, the real human being that you and I connect with, knows the world is shifting. The mentality of the combined society is shifting. We are becoming more aware of and skilled in differentiating who we should follow, what we should follow, how we should change, and who's real and who's fake. And that is a cool thing. And I love that. I think that's just brilliant.
Now tell me quickly, we're talking about online.
Quickly.
Do you think, way of speaking, do you think live events will come back? Will you do live events again? Do you think there's still a place for live events?
Absolutely. I mean, we were at a live event the other day where you celebrated your birthday. We did a firewalk together and you took me through that journey and I loved it. I think there's a different energy, there's a different vibe at a live event where you connect on a different level. And I remember driving home and telling the wife, I miss live events. I honestly do miss live events. Do I think we will go back to doing everything live as we used to? No. Zoom has given us the opportunity to reach people in countries and in cities all around the world that we've never been able to reach.
Yes.
And that opportunity, I think it will be silly to let that go. But should we have live events? Absolutely. However, the live events will have large monitors and cameras so that we can stream it to those that cannot attend the live events.
Yeah.
So, but you and I have been talking about sharing a live event, and I'm really getting to that point. I wanted actually to do one this year. I must be honest, I'm really looking forward to just going on holiday and just going resting for a while. It's been a tough year. It's been a long year. It's been a busy year. But most certainly early in the new year, and I trust that this COVID thing will just become a second flu, and the world can just get over it, so we can go back to normal. So yeah, I'm looking forward to our first live event.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think using this time, that is where I'm at as well for the next 2 months, is just, or a month and a half, is just to start, enjoying a holiday, but also sort of planning next year, what is that we want to achieve. Now, how did you experience my birthday celebration, the fire walk and the snakes and, that whole experience, is it something you can see combining with?
I love it. My poor wife always ran away from the snakes. She doesn't like snakes. She's actually had them around her shoulders, very similar to your event, the guys did there. She's done that before, screaming while she was doing it. But it's not a phobia. It's just an extremely healthy fear on steroids. Let's put it that way. You had a guy there, a drummer that I absolutely enjoyed. Man, that guy's energy was just amazing. I loved it. But I enjoyed the firewalk, and I walked. I'm proud of myself. I mean, we had the opportunity to do 3 walks, and the first one, I was right at the back of the queue. I was going, I'll wait for that to cool down. I can buy a chop on that at the moment. Let that simmer for a while. Let's let the other guys stamp out those goals first. And I remember doing my first one, and you said never to use the B word. I think you spelled it B-U-R-N. We're not allowed to say it. You don't actually burn. You just, the fire kisses you. And I walked, and the fire kissed me. And I was, oh, man. Oh, this is painful. And I had a bottle of water in my hand, and I stood there. I couldn't really sort of jump around. So I just poured some of it on the floor, and I stood on it just to cool my foot out a bit. It was enough. So, but you told us if it does happen, do a second walk.
Yeah. And
give the keys back to the fire. And that's exactly what I did. It felt weird. I was going like, I'm not sure about this, but let me try. So I did the second walk, gave the keys back, and it was like, oh, wow, this is cool.
Yes.
So the third time, because now every time you do the walk, you guys layer those coals. The first time is like a couple of hot ashes there with a couple of coals here and there. I think you call it popcorn or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
It wasn't that hard. The second time you layered it a little bit, but the third time there was like there was a layer. It was a solid layer of. And I remember your instructors, or the guys that helped you, 2 of them went first. I was just behind them. I said, I'm going to wait in the back of the queue this time. I want this fire as hot as I can possibly have it tonight. And I did that third walk on that heat, and I went, easy peasy. The next morning, the first thing when my wife wakes up, she says, "And what does your foot look like?"
Yeah. And
I picked it up, and there where I had the kiss, you could feel the skin was thicker. Yeah. It was like a layer, but no blister, no burn, no pain, nada. So that was quite an interesting experience. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
And that's what I love about it. That especially that last walk, where we upped it to a few extra 100 degrees Celsius. And it felt again for me like my first walk where I did. It was just exciting again, upping the game. And
what was the temperature? That last one?
So we have a temperature meter. I don't always bring it out because I don't want to pre-frame in people's minds too much about the heat of it, because if you start thinking about 600 degrees Celsius, you already start, mind goes into a certain way. So that first walk we did was about 400 degrees, and then it up to about 550, and then that last walk was about 850 degrees Celsius. So that was. You
know what I'm going to do after this? I'm going to go Google what melts at 850 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, you should, and see how skin should look like at 850. You might just be shocked. But that was amazing. Now I know you do amazing events. So, can you see us combining that at future events? You do your certain thing and we combine it and have people that have that amazing.
Absolutely. And I don't think just the firewalk. I think, you've got a message. Here's the thing. I like connecting with authentic people, and that's probably why we connected. I think the first WhatsApp you sent me, I think I misread it, and that you were asking me out for a date, and that's probably why I said no. But the moment we did connect, there was just a natural communication. I mean, it's like you and I have known each other for years. I don't know if you experienced it, but
Yes,
I
same.
sort of get that feeling. And is that the type of people that I want to share platforms with? Yes. So I think it's not just the firewalk. I think you've obviously got you've got way more to offer than just a firewalk.
Yes.
And that's probably the main reason. So we're going to have to sit and talk. And I don't know, maybe someone's watching this and they've got an idea how we can merge it together. Will there be a firewalk? I think yes. A weekend event or some kind of event like that should be ended with a firewalk. Why not? It's got to be like some kind of a highlight challenge at the end. Will everybody do the firewalk? Probably not. I don't know. Is it important if everybody does it? No, not really.
Yeah. You can learn
But
as
those
much
that
as
really
any
want to
other.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say is you can learn the same thing by seeing other people walk over fire. You get the same lesson in learning. So, but now on that point, what is your dreams for next year? What is some of the goals? Where do you want to go? I know you want to go internationally. You have big goals and dreams. What are some of Deon's goals? What are some of your goals, Deon?
I've got one huge goal, and I almost want to say that everything I do is aligned with it. So in 2018, we did an attempt, and we didn't get the results we were hoping for, and now it's being reframed. So my first goal is to actually get a short TV series going, but a TV series that we don't have to sell to the TV channels, and we can actually give to the TV channels.
Yes.
And a practical one where we show people the power of what we do in front of a live audience. So 2018, I did a 3-day event and we recorded it. We haven't edited everything because a professional editing company does the editing. And we sent some samples to the TV channels, but we made a few mistakes and we learned from those mistakes. But it's a live event where you get a live audience in front of you and you take a live audience on a journey of change over 3 days. Real people with real stuff, where you do techniques on them in front of the camera live. So there's no room for error, which is fun. There's zero room for error. You can't edit the bad sections out. You have to record the entire 3-day event and make that available. So the hope that I have is that we can share it to a lot of different countries throughout Africa, because my heartbeat is in Africa.
Yeah,
I honestly believe we probably have the best continent in the world. We have the best resources below the soil in our continent. We have the best resources above the soil. But unless resources are mined properly, developed properly, utilized properly, we don't get the benefit from it. And I think our resources, those below the soil and above the soil, has been abused too long. So if we can do an event where we can put it onto different channels in different countries around the world, and we can get on a plane, take 100 coaches, fly to the country, literally enter it, run an event in stadiums, do live change events in front of people, let people see with their own eyes change happening in front of them. Yeah. Then we create an opportunity to show the world that the way we think can change. The way we've been doing things can change. The things that we held on to, our past limiting beliefs, can shift into empowering beliefs. We can become better human beings than what we are. So that's my goal. That's my challenge, is to really, I almost want to say, to awaken Africa.
Yeah. Look, one thing that I definitely know is, and that's what we need to do, is that, and that's what NLP did for me. And, it awakened me and it showed me the possibilities that I'm in control of my destiny and that I can change anything. I can change the limiting beliefs that have stopped me. And the thing is, we constantly create new limiting beliefs, but with tools like NLP, we can change it and we can help others as well. And that's why I love it. And I know you teach NLP, and for those who don't know, it's actionfactory.co.za or .com, and I will post the link in here. .co.za, how you can go and find out a little bit more about what Action Factory. They have multiple courses from NLP, life coaching certification, to executive coaching, body coaching for health, for those who want to lose weight and become more healthy in their life, and and how to present, etc. I know you constantly developing new material, and I think people can really benefit about your teaching.
I think a lot of people must realize that the courses we offer is merely just a tool. It's a tool actually just to get a message across, and the message is a very simple one. The message is very simplistic. The message is only you can change.
Yeah,
you can change, irrespective of what's behind you, irrespective of who you are at the moment, irrespective of what you think your future looks like. There's only one single message, and that is you can change, you can improve, you can think better, you can do better, you can be a better version of yourself. That's the bottom line. The tool we use is NLP and coaching. The tool you use is firewalks. The tool another guy's use is Gestalt therapy. Another guy uses anger management or laughing or Lego. Whatever the tool is, it's not. I don't believe one should focus on the tool. It's what does the tool do and where does it take you? And that's to me what's more important. So a lot of people, I'm not one of those that say coaching and NLP is the thing you need to study. Is it a great benefit? Absolutely. Do I love it? Sure. Are there others? Yes. There's many other things you can go study as well.
But I think
does it bring change? That's the key. Does it bring change? Can you shift from because of it? Therein lies the power.
And it's to have that constant growth. It's like you say, there's so many tools, but if you're on this constant growth, it's like you as well, is we constantly growing, we constantly go to other courses to develop ourselves so that we can be better teachers and facilitators, but also better persons. So, and I think that is the thing, no matter what tool you choose, as long as you constantly keep on growing and developing yourself, because that opens your mind to even more possibilities and give you that creation tools that you can create your destiny and you can forge your destiny in the end of the day. So, so a question, you've been an entrepreneur for a long time, and I just want to, I know it's almost time to end and you also have a busy day and have to spoil the wife, but you've been an entrepreneur. What has made you successful? What has brought you in success? What have you done constantly? Because there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there and business owners and life coaches, everyone that's struggling at the moment. How can they turn around? What do you think is the secret for them that they need to do to get more success in business?
I've seen a lot of coaches. I've trained, I think I'm close to the 3,000 mark already as people that I've certified over the years. And if you look at the number of them that made it in the industry and those that have just slipped away into the background, I think there's one differentiating characteristic. And I can use one word for it: tenacity. So I think a lot of people think about entrepreneurship and they get excited and they see the glamour and they see money and they see not a lot of working hours and all these things. And I think that's a false picture that a lot of people are painting. It's hard work. It's a lot of hours. I work every day of my life. That includes my Saturdays and my Sundays. If I go on holiday, I take my cell phone and my laptop with me. I even work on holidays. I don't know when is the last time in my life that I took 7 days and not read an email or did not interact with my business at some level. Because if you're an entrepreneur, what you do for a living is part of you.
Yes.
But the problem we have is we are spoiled with the just add water generation. And the just add water principle means if I do one thing, I need to have a quick result, instant gratification. So people start an entrepreneurship journey and they do a little bit and they don't see the results and they say, this doesn't work. This was a bad investment, bad idea, whatever the case may be, which I think is the wrong approach. If you really want it, never stop going for it.
Yeah.
I've been in this industry, as I mentioned earlier, since 2008. I still, up to today, I still constantly need to reinvent what my business is doing. Just because something worked in the last year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, it does not mean we are going to, that it's going to work tomorrow and in the years coming. We've got to constantly reinvent what we do, how we do it, who we are, what our business identity is, and just constantly alter and change it. And that tenacity, that discipline, that chutzpah, that zest, that fire, just to stick with it nonstop, irrespective of the results, is what makes an entrepreneur. There's an old saying that says it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
Yes.
And I remember hearing that many, many years ago. And I laughed. That's so silly, really. Absolutely, I believe it today. It takes 10 years to become an overnight success. And in some cases, even longer. It is what it is.
And that's why we shouldn't compare ourselves to others, sometimes I compare myself so easily to example, Robin Banks, for example. But if I go look and talk, he's been doing this for almost 27 years, and then there's another friend of mine at Stein that has done this for 25 years. And I've been now only busy with 7 years. We constantly compare ourselves to those who are successful, but we don't realize they've been doing this 3 or 4 times longer than what we've been doing it. And I love what you're saying, and that's where the consistency and that persistence needs to be there, but also I think the other secret you just mentioned that reminded me again is that reinvention. If Facebook have worked for you for the last 2 years, it's not necessarily it's going to keep on working, because now TikTok is out there, and now you have to be on TikTok. You have to Clubhouse, yes.
Everything is changing. I look back when I did my trainer's training, because it's a specific course you do in the NLP industry to become a certified trainer in this industry. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think we were 12 people on the course. I'm the only one from that group that does what I do full time. In fact, there's only one other person that still offers NLP training. All the others fizzled out somewhere along the line. And it's not because they weren't capable. I honestly believe it's a merge. It's the passion to want to absolutely make it, irrespective of whatever comes your way. Yeah. And that's the differentiating factor.
Yeah, because the thing is, there's going to be challenging times. There's times that you're going to look at your bank account and you're like, damn, how am I going to pay my bills at the end of the month? But that is why just bring it. That's why passion comes in, is to pull through or push through that moments where you can't think you're going to pay your bills, because the moment you start pushing through, before you know it, you've made the money to pay your bills at the end of the month, because you have that passion.
I don't think passion and true passion, authentic passion. I think this is a very strange way. How do I explain this? You just mentioned that there are months where I've had months literally where we get to the day we have to pay the bills and salaries and whatever, because I have got salaries and people that I have to pay. And there's nothing. I'm not saying there's a little. I'm saying there's nothing the day before, like nothing. And you go, but for some reason, and I think this is a character trait of entrepreneurs, we are extremely optimistic. Yes. There's something in us that constantly says it's going to be okay. And I've often wondered about it. And I came to the realization that I cannot give it any other word except faith.
Yeah.
There's a core quality type of faith we have. And it's not for everybody necessarily faith in a specific God or faith. It's undescribable. I don't know. It's just, again, maybe it's called it. We just know. We know what? It's going to be okay.
Yeah. And I love that. And I have this metaphor I like to use as like a farmer. You prepare the ground and then you choose the seed that you're going to plant in. But before you plant, there's a drought. Now, how can God send the rain if you're not even willing to take the action and plant the seed? And this is where the faith comes in. And sometimes, no matter how the circumstances look around us, that we still need to have that faith in planting the seed as if the rain will come. And that's the thing, is having that faith, because the rain is coming and you will get through it. And I think that has helped me the last 7 years, to pull through every month.
It's going to be okay. But you can't expect it's going to be okay if you haven't put the seed in the ground. So there's a merge. I absolutely believe that I'm one of God's favorites.
Yes.
Because when I was born, he came to me and he said, "You're special, and you're special." That's what dimples are for. Then he went, "Oh, you're very special." That's God's fingers putting you in there. So maybe I'm spoiled there. Maybe I am special. I don't know. I'm teasing around this. But you know what? I can't expect anybody to. If I go work for a company, I can't expect my boss to pay me a salary if I've spent the whole month at home just being lazy and watching TV. I've got to do something. I've got to work. I've been given talents. I've been given a brain. I've been given mouth. I've been given arms, legs, whatever the case may be. I need to use what is available to me, and I've got to use it to its best of its ability.
Yes. If
I do that, I've not earned the blessings, but to me, I'm then prepared to go, okay, now bless me, shower me, come on, give it to me. It's a very strange concept. It's like, it's not an earning, but it's, I've done my part. And I expect people in my life to do their part. I expect my kids to do their part.
Yes.
And I want them to do their part towards me because I'm their father and they love me. So isn't our God also a father and for some a mother? Now, if someone tells me, "Oh, I love God," well, do you do what needs to be done to appease him? Because true love will always elicit aligned behavior. So if I love my wife, now because I love my wife, there's a certain way that I'll speak to her. I'll be a gentleman. I'll treat her. I'll open the door. I'll buy flowers. I'll tell her I love her. There's an aligned behavior because of the love. The love does not demand the behavior. But because of the love, there's an automatic response from my side in a specific type of behavior. So if you love what you do, there'll be an automatic aligned behavior. If you love whatever you love, there's a reciprocating aligned behavior because of the love.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that. Maybe that's entrepreneurship.
You just open a few things, and thank you for that. And I totally agree with you. It's a sad one. Not one of your daughters is single. I could have become your son-in-law. I would have loved that.
What is that? He's really committed completely yet. I'm teasing.
Yeah, hopefully she's not listening to this and
she probably is.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. No, Deon, thank you for your time and giving us these insights. And I know for those, if you want to know more, Deon is about his courses. I will post the link and I will send it out. But if you want to know more, you're welcome. I will put my email out as well. As you can see, it's info@supermanlife, or if you see kobusvisser.com, info@kobusvisser.com, and I will pass you on all of the information. Otherwise, just go to actionfactory.co.za. I really recommend that you go and study NLP and life coaching. NLP has changed my life. It's changed the way I look at the world and has really helped me facing my challenges and my limiting beliefs. And it was an amazing to chat with you, Deon. I thank you for that. I see a friend of mine, Belinda, says she agrees with Deon. Despite motivation, desire and passion, one requires the will to achieve it. And as Kobus always say, whatever it takes, or the otherwise known as tenacity. So Deon, any last messages or message you want to leave everyone with?
I think gurus are good final messages. I'm just Deon. I'm not there. I just have one thing. If I could tell the world anything, and that is, go and love. The greatest gift we have is authentic love. And the cool thing about love, and this is probably the one thing that differentiate itself from any other emotion, any other feeling, any other behavior, anything else, is love is never experienced singularly. If I give you love, you experience it and I experience it. It is the greatest gift we have in the world, because when we give it, we ourselves experience it as well. And when we receive it, the receiver and the giver experiences it. So you've got nothing to do and you're not sure what to do in life, just go love somebody. Now, I'm not saying, please, if you're lonely, don't go knock on your neighbor's door and say, Deon said I must come and love you. Handle it properly, but just go and find someone to love and just give as much love as you possibly can. Greatest gift in the world.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Deon. And for everyone that's listening, go and love. There's either call someone now and tell them how much you love them. There's some of them that might just want to hear it. And if there's someone that you don't want to use the word with, go give them. I teach what I call a hug. And first thing you do is, without saying word, go to someone, make eye contact. Just look them in their eyes, into the windows of their soul, and just show them that I see you, I acknowledge you. And then the second step is where your heart is. Make sure when you hug, your head goes to the right where your hearts touch, because hearts are love. And when your hearts touch, you hug, you breathe in together. And you breathe out, and just do it and tell a person that you're going to do that. And you do that for 2 to 3 times, breaths in and breath out. There's also something called your brain releases serotonin that makes you feel good. But I found a nice way of giving someone love and for them to experience it. And maybe that is what we need to do, Deon. Thank you for that message. And thank you for your time. Regards to your wife. And so I say hi. And are you going to spoil her now? Are you taking her out for nice dinner?
No, I'm not taking it out. It's our way of celebrating is we invite our kids and their partners, and we are going to do a nice meal and sit around the table and just share each other's amazing presents and celebrate it. That's how we. I might go pick a favorite flower in the garden and give that. No, she'll kill me if I pick that one. But I'll come up with something. I'll get her some kind of a gift.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, well, go and enjoy, spoil, and have fun. And thank you for your inspiration message, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Kobus. You're awesome. Hopefully next time we talk around a fire, a real fire.
Yeah, definitely. That would be amazing. Maybe at your place and have a big steak on the fire as well.
Yeah. Be blessed.
Be blessed. Blessings. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, everyone, that was Deon Groenewald. Thank you for tuning in and listening. This is what it's about. Fireside Chat is to connect with individuals and just share their story. And thank you for making time to listen. All my podcasts will be uploaded on Anchor. It will be soon available on Apple, iTunes, and all of the podcast channels. Just look for Kobus Visser of a C, 0 to 0, whatever it takes. So this is Kobus Visser, everyone. Have a beautiful day, and cheers for now.